welcome to an episode of Modern Block. Thank you for joining me today. So, day one of the quarterfinals are done. We're halfway through them. It's amazing. Two surprisingly convincing victories. One Northern, one Southern. Really just showcasing that maybe the disparity of the different pools is a little bit more than we thought. Obviously, some teams just arrived for the day. I feel others didn't. But largely the results going the way we expected. So, not too much of an upset here, but still interesting. I think the first thing, obviously, let's look at the Australia-England game. Let's get into it. So, obviously, Australia do strike first with a penalty kick. Leofano's kicking actually was quite impressive today. He did slot a couple of good ones in. He didn't have many to kick, but the ones he did well. But England just strike. 60 minutes, about 60 minutes and 20 minutes, Johnny May just slaughters them, puts them to the sword, and really things start looking dire. Another penalty and two more penalties from Australia, though, just before the end of the half, make things look a little bit better at 17-9. Things look closer. Australia start the second half with a great run, and as we predicted, Koroibete, Karivi, both just running riot there. Both of them and Kouroujian all just running riot. Will Genia, I felt, was some good strong runs, impressive, and also, mainly Will Genia. I think it was really impressive. Kudley Beale also did have some moments that were really good. So the Australian backline for me cut some great holes, were very impressive, but the clinical efficiency of the English attack just couldn't hold off. Probably the biggest thing here is Australia just couldn't restart. I mean, every time they scored points, they pretty much conceded points. It was a character of the game. They often tried to play out of their own half, couldn't, and I think partially that's part to the English, outstanding English rush defense, just putting pressure. They couldn't get out of their half. I don't know why they tried to play so much of their half and didn't change their strategy. Something that I know that a lot of your Pacific Island teams do is play out of their half, but when you're getting so much pressure, at some point you've got to have your leadership take control and actually change the plan, and they just didn't. They were just like, we're going to stick to it, and they stick to it pretty much 80 minutes. And that just is unfortunate. I mean, England had an 80% tackle rate, just like a 90% tackle rate, which just showcases that they were efficient and clinical, and that the trademark of this English side. This English side is a machine, a workhorse. They're all about the most efficient play, similar to the Japanese style, but more of a forceful version of it. The Japanese is finesse, quality, controlled, and clinically sharp, like a scalpel. This, I feel, is like a tank. It's solid, machine. You know what it's going to do, but it'll blow up your house if you're not careful. So, very impressive from the English overall. And I think Australia lost this one. And what the score, I don't think there's such a disparity between these two teams, but tactically, the disparity was huge. Quality of players-wise, I don't think it was that huge. Owen Farrell was very impressive, even though I wasn't sure if it was. He had a great bunch of kicks, very, very decisive in that position. But I think more in defence, England did do a lot more of the pouncing situation, that conversion. Another, obviously, also interception try later on in the game, making the scoreline look a little bit worse. The disallowed try from Australia also not helping. But obviously, I think one of the interesting telling stats from this game is that though almost the exact same amount of kicks, 731 meters made versus 391 meters made, just a massive disparity in the success of kicks, and also just the type of kicks being played. In Australia did do a lot of pop over kicks, but were very, very, very useless in the grand scheme of things. Where England, on the other hand, had quality, precision, and I'll give it to Farrell for that. Precision kicks out wide, forcing them back into the territory and playing an outstanding territory game. In the end, the possession was heavily Australia's side, actually, but that just showcases that England didn't need the ball because a lot of the game was happening now. I know late on it did even out, but for big parts of the game, important parts of the game, Australia were playing inside their 40-metre line, which just hurt. I think there was some good things from Australia. The scrums, I think Australia's forward pack did hold up in the scrums well and did neutralise, I think, a bit of England's force there. But to be fair, overall the game, the English forward pack started dominating. It just was, you could see slow rumble of it going through, that tank just rolling over them. It started to discourage the forward pack, it started to discourage the backline of Australia, and they just couldn't get going. I think they tried, and there was a lot of guts, but tactically, as I've moaned about the Australian team, they have some of the best players in the world. I mean, you name the players in that team. You've got Pocock, Hooper, Flefano, Genia, all of them, just outstanding players. But their problem is that they don't tactically play together. They don't build off of each other. You've got to build. They are effectively a bunch of really pretty bricks, but pretty bricks are useless unless they're put into a house. I mean, then they just lie there. So I think that was my issue with them. They definitely didn't. They just couldn't gel, and the English team just, I think, as a unit, just surpassed it, and that's where you get that huge score difference. I don't think it was as bad, but as I said, with those pointings, but yes, fair. That's how it ended up. Congrats to England. Very well done. As you obviously will know the result, they'll be facing New Zealand. Let's get into that game. Nice little crossover. So New Zealand, Ireland, good game. Sad for the Irish. Quality from New Zealand. Damn. They continue to make statement after statement in this World Cup, even though I think they thrive off of people doubting them. So I've decided to stop. They rock, I get it. Stop rocking so much, New Zealand. It's just sick. I mean, you cannot, somehow when you see the end of the ladder, you find more steps. I don't know how you do it, and it was very impressive. Impressive performance. I think, as I used the tank metaphor earlier, New Zealand is a fighter jet. Just as powerful, but damn fast. And they strike out of nowhere. Ireland, on the other hand, didn't pitch. Rory Best, I felt, had a meh game. Overall, most of Ireland just couldn't get into the pitch. They couldn't really play their game. Some moments could have changed the game, or possible interception here and there. But overall, New Zealand controlled that game from start to finish. Obviously, beginning with New Zealand kicking for poles, showcasing that this is a tactical and that this is a World Cup quarterfinal. They are here for points. Very, very impressive that they just continue to show that their tactical side. Later, Aaron Smith decides to kill the pretense and score 2 tries. Both Barrett scored tries, while Geordie and Bowden. Richie Mwanga continues to be an outstanding place kicker, and I think he's taken Barrett out completely there. He just is consistent and something that you need in a World Cup team. And quite as an opposing team against them would have frustrated many teams, as that was a weakness of New Zealand, that they couldn't kick 100%. But with Richie there, he's starting to really uplift that team, I think even more than Bowden could at that position. So credit to Henson for seeing that and building that, and that's what makes him such a good coach. On the Irish side, Sexton, all of them just, they couldn't find the X factor. Yes, 1 or 2 tries. The yellow card helped a little, but overall, they were consolation tries. New Zealand bossed this game left and right. It was actually kind of painful to watch. Halftime was 17-0. 22-0. But after the 17-0, things already started looking downhill. People were starting questioning. Impressive from a team that attacks so well. New Zealand continue that 92% tackle rate, even better than the English game before. Just showcasing that they don't only attack well, when they don't have the ball, they defend outstandingly. It was 50-50 position, so Ireland did try. They did. With running meters, you've got 488 to 239, so 239 in Ireland, just showcasing that they were trying, but New Zealand just ran so much more. They definitely were just running at them. Ireland did try. I'm not saying they didn't, but it was just stifled. They couldn't get anywhere. Similarly, in my opinion, to that Japan game, where they just couldn't get anywhere and they got frustrated, and their attacks, they once they lost their plan A, they didn't have a plan B. Interestingly, again, also, New Zealand, everybody seems arguing kicking. England and New Zealand now showcased it. Both had more kicks. Both had more kick meters made. Outstanding kicking performances made games, and they continue to showcase that. So something that we need to understand is it's a quality of kicks that we need to focus on here. NZvIRE had a great game. Some offloads that just blew the mind. Overall, their handling was tenfold better to previous games, showcasing that they're getting used to this weather and they've used this time off to build that. A dangerous thing to know for any teams facing them. I feel sorry for the Irish that they saw that and the revenge of the New Zealanders came into that. But to be fair, it was beautiful rugby. So credit to New Zealand and well done. I am wrong, and I have now decided that I no longer doubt the New Zealanders, never doubt them. Yay, all hail New Zealand right now. let's see what the quarterfinals hold. I think it's going to be a cracker. Both of these teams putting 40 points on showcases that they are just a step above the rest, the English and New Zealanders. How can the semi-final not be outstanding? So tomorrow's games will obviously also just, I think they'll be similarly interesting. I'm quite surprised at the margins today's games gave. Definitely just showcasing that's plan A, plan B, and just strategy is essential in these World Cups and how you take on the opposing team you're facing. You can't just have your team strategy. You have to have your strategy for the team you're playing. So very impressive. Credit to New Zealand, credit to England, and all that this means is that we have an outstanding semi-final waiting for us. But let me know what you feel. Who's the players that let you down from each of the losing teams? Who's the players that maybe didn't perform to their best in the winning teams? And who do you think is the man of the match in your opinion? I know what the man of the match of the actual games are, but what is your opinion, man of the match? Let me know down below, guys. Thanks so much. Comment, share, subscribe, and all those good things. And I'll bring out another video tomorrow. I'm also going to be on Unbiased Rugby tomorrow after the game. If you want to catch me there, Unbiased Rugby in YouTube, and Google it, and you'll find him. I'll maybe also grab a link and put it in the bottom if you want to catch that video there. Thanks, guys. Cheers.